Skills Village Radio.
Nomsa, welcome to the Arts, Culture and Recreation Show on Skills Village Radio. How are you, Aus?
What a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm great to be here. Thank you so much for the invite.
No, thank you for gracing us. And I know you're a busy lady. I know you're a busy lady, and giving out time so that we are able to conversate with you, and most importantly, speak about the program that you are part of that empower 20 people with disabilities. For the listener out there who doesn't know who is Nomsa, what she does, what is she all about, can you please just explain to them who is Nomsa?
All right, thank you so much. And I would like to also greet your listeners and also greet my followers. I did try and send the link. So Usnomsa, her name is Nomsa, also known as Nomusa Makaringe. I am currently a Mrs. South Africa semi-finalist. I also working for First National Bank as a local market manager, and I happen to be taking care of Alexandra is part of my local market, Houghton, Balfour Park as well. And I also love giving back to our people. So I've got an NPO by the name of Exceptional Women. We empower women. We are for the children. We try and sustain families and make sure that we bring hope to our communities. So I think in a nutshell, that is who I am. I'm also a wife and a mother, a sister and a friend to many. And I also call myself or known as the mother of nations. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Mm. And as the Mrs. South Africa finalist, what is the most memorable moment, or how did you feel? Especially when you found out that you are now a finalist. You're not just a person auditioning or trying out. How did that feel?
Sure, a dream come true. As a spiritual person, somebody who believes in God, it was more of, God showing up and God showing off. So, yeah, I think that was one of the moments where you realize that anything is possible only if you believe. So, that was that for me at that moment.
And that is so true. Whenever you believe in something, it will manifest and it will come true. But what made you, be part of digital skills besides the element of you knowing me? What made you say, I want to be part of this? I want to be part of the empowerment of people with disabilities as well.
Okay. I think as an African, or shall I say, growing up in the township, we've seen this. And I think in the African communities, we look at it as somebody who's cursed or somebody that must not be seen. So through this initiative, I'm like thinking that we are now taking this out and saying, you know what, with or without disabilities, we are gifted, or that community is gifted. We can actually use that community to positively impact our society. So for me, it's like, yes, I want everybody to be in the forefront. I want the people living with disabilities seen and see their potential and their God given gifts. So it's more of, can I also be a vessel in helping bring hope to them? And I think by this, you are bringing hope to others, those that have been hidden. It's time for them to be shown out. Everybody was created for a purpose. Everybody has gifts with or without disabilities. So this program for me is like, we are now raising that generation of people living with disabilities and saying, can we put them in the forefront? Can we also show that they are also capable? So that is my biggest why, especially to agreeing to be part of this project.
And we really appreciate, being
Thank
able
you.
to see you come in yesterday. It was joy. I was very happy.
Thank
I
you.
was very
Thank
happy.
you, Johnny.
What
Thank
is
you
that?
so much.
What is that one thing that yesterday, as you were there throughout the day or the time, that you can say this touched me? this opened up my eyes to a specific element of life that I was not looking at life in this way, but now I am looking at life in a specific way.
I think the excitement or the joy that I could see with those learners, I think they are looking at life with possibilities. It's no longer their situation or circumstances that defines them, but the possibilities, as they were being called to stage, the smile, and their outward look at life, it's now different. I think you guys have changed that. The program has changed that. Seeing them working on their iPads, being focused there, and the future is bright for them. So it's that hope that you've brought to them and that inspiration. And now they've got a better why than they did. They understand why they're here. They are looking forward to making a difference. So I could see that from their faces yesterday. And I think one of the things was, can we have more of this project? Can we bring this to every nation? I think currently you're saying Alexandra Tembisa. Can we take it to the whole of South Africa and make sure that everybody partakes in this initiative? It was very exciting for me.
Um, with that being said, firstly, I was unaware that you had an NPO, and it's new info to me. But now, because now I know, now I'm
Yeah,
putting it out there to the universe and putting it out there to our listeners. A collaboration, and let us look at empowering people with disabilities.
I
uh,
love
as,
it.
and let us grow it. As you're saying, let's take it to the country. Let us take it
Thank
to the
you.
country and
Yes, 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 all the way.
all the way. And you're in the marketing space for FNP. Now, within all the years that you would say you're being in the marketing space, um, are there people with disabilities that you can say you've seen within the space or within the corporates that are actively doing their duties and all of that? And most importantly, they are not feeling sorry for themselves. You would you say
Yes, I
you are
have.
seeing that?
Yeah, I have. I have seen, but when I look at the ratio, it's very small. I've seen them. There's those that are there, and I can see that, they're skilled, they're gifted, they execute. Actually, some of them, they execute better than what we call normal people. Hence, I'm saying that with this kind of a program that you guys are doing, it's now going to give even the economy the opportunity to actually enhance those skills and also get those people that are skilled with living with disabilities to actually be in the marketplace more than we currently have. So the ratio is very, very, very small. So I think your programs, it will actually elevate that, and then we can actually have a shift in terms of the ratio, have a higher number of people living with disabilities in the corporate world. So yeah, hence the excitement and based on the experience that I also have.
Yeah, that is so true. We are definitely going to be making a difference, and we are going to make sure that there is equality and the numbers do balance of people with
Thank you
disabilities.
so much. Yeah, let's go.
Discovered.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm all in.
Definitely. So let's say we have a listener out there who would like to go into marketing, has a disability, they don't know where to start. Or we have a listener out there who wants to do something. They're just sitting at home. They don't know what to do. They feel like the world is at a standstill. The world is at an end. What can you tell them? And just before you answer me, can I put on a third element? I am sorry for putting you on the spot, but yeah, this convo just made me so excited that I had
Yeah.
to, I just had to go in a different direction. Um,
Okay.
as as people with disabilities, we also have a contest called Miss Disability. We
Oh,
have it at the end
lovely.
of the year, and there are people there are ladies with disabilities who fear entering such competitions as well. And I know with me understanding and knowing your story, it took you a very long time before you finally said, I'm gonna enter Miss
Correct.
Africa. What can you tell that person who wants to do it but they are scared or they have doubts, they have fears, and they want to be productive in life, but they have this other fear that's just blocking them from moving forward? What can you tell them?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna use my personal experience. It matters who's behind you. More than anything. I'm looking at you and the people that are surrounding you or that you are surrounding. Just because they're in your presence, you are bringing hope to them. So I think there's a saying that a bad company corrupts a good character. I think that is true. And the opposite is also true. When you are surrounded by people that believe, by default, you become a believer. So I think I'm more of a product of my surrounding because doubts are going to creep in. We are human beings after all. You are going to look at yourself and say, I don't have this and that and that. At the minute you have people that say, you know what, we believe in you. So you start believing that even more. So my first advice would be that surround yourself with the right people, positive people. I would say that in your community that you have built with people that are living with disability, you've brought hope just because they are surrounded by you, you are there. So that on its own will elevate somebody's thinking to say, you know what, if Shoni can do it, I think I also mentioned it yesterday. If Shoni can do it, I can also do it. So that's the first one. And believing in yourself, one of the things that I believe in is that we were all created for a purpose, regardless of how we look like or how God designed us. And I'm a spiritual person, I'm a Christian in religious belief. There's a scripture that says, you've been fearfully and wonderfully made, meaning that God took his time to create you the way and the manner in which he created you and for his purpose. And once we understand and comprehend that, when you live your day by day, you know that it was not a mistake, it was deliberate. That is also one of the things that drives me. And with that, in terms of entering your beauty pageant as well, it's a gift. It's given. We were all created and we've all got what it takes. So you look at me, it took me a long time. I had to have I had doubts. I had problems with my beliefs. There's certain things that I thought were not right about me. But at some point, I started believing that, you know what, I've got what it takes. I also have what it takes. So I would say to the listeners out there that you've got what it takes. There will be that small voice that will speak to you and say, you've got what it takes. And my advice is that listen to that voice. You listen to that voice and then you surround yourself with the right people and you believe. And if you're a praying person like myself, you pray, you trust. And then everything, God will align everything. And he's going to align people for your journey because you are believing, you are surrounded by right people, and you are in alignment with the purpose that God has for your life. Thank you, Shani.
Thank you very much for the opportunity and for the time to actually speak to us.
Thank you so much.
This is not the end. This is just the beginning. Officially welcome to the Skills Village Radio family.
Thank
And
you.
we will definitely be hearing more from you on what you are doing and the impact that you are also doing within the disability community.
Hip hop is a lifestyle, as you can speak. So it's local, but it's international.
You are now tuned into Skills Village Radio.